Debt is considered to be a double-edged sword. This single tool can make you super rich, but it can also make you broke overnight. In this video, we will show you how the rich use debt to make more money, and how debt can be a powerful force propelling all your dreams and endeavors. 1. The rich build empires. The story of debt is not new. It goes back to the 1800s when Rockefeller did business. Worth $400 billion in today's dollar terms, Rockefeller was not born rich. A farmer's son and a high school dropout went on to become the richest American to ever live, richer than Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk combined. Rockefeller was never great at school because school didn't teach about money. However, when Rockefeller got an assistant bookkeeper job, he got to learn about the business world in and out. He knew that he could generate immense wealth if only he had the seed money. So, he went on into starting a small agricultural commodity trading business, borrowing a mere $1,000 from his father. That was his first debt, but it gave him a strong foothold in the world of business. Within 2 years, he was making $17,000 in profits. During this time, the oil industry was showing a rising trend. There existed a market for kerosene oil, but kerosene extraction using coal was tedious, and storage barrel costs were high. So Rockefeller used gasoline instead of coal and produced barrels in-house at a fraction of their cost. Such innovative techniques won him the bankers' and the lenders' trust, and they started lending him money on more favorable terms. And this is when the whole game changed for Rockefeller. He strategically used debt to acquire smaller competitors to create an oil monopoly. This monopoly helped him secure volume discounts from the railroads. He could now transport kerosene at much cheaper rates, so even low-income households could afford it. Soon, by the 1870s, that same farmer's son became a 31-year-old millionaire, and his company, Standard Oil, was refining 90% of the oil in the entire US. The most noteworthy thing about Rockefeller was that he always paid off his debt on time, but never hesitated to borrow when he saw a growth opportunity. 2. The rich don't take salary. While we have all heard about the billion-dollar mansions, expensive cars, and luxurious vacations the rich across the world spend their money on, the much lesser-known fact is that they don't pay for all of this from their salary. In 2021, Elon Musk revealed the secret behind such a luxurious lifestyle through his tweet, "I only have stock. Thus, the only way for me to pay taxes personally is to sell stock." While the most casual Twitter browsers will simply scroll down such tweets, very few know how to read between the lines. Elon Musk doesn't take a salary, but he owns Tesla's stocks worth billions of dollars. But he doesn't sell that either, and he still lives the lifestyle he lives. The secret is that he borrows money against the stocks and lives off that debt. Debt brings him double benefits. First, it prevents him from paying taxes. Debt, being borrowed money, attracts no taxes, even though it's still money in his bank account, which he can splurge as he wishes. Second, he doesn't actually sell his Tesla stock because selling it will attract a capital gain tax. He only uses the stock as collateral to get the loan. Some even call it an evergreen line of credit. So, suppose he gets a loan at a 6% interest rate. The only thing he needs to ensure is that Tesla should grow by at least 6%. When he needs to pay off that debt, he takes out another loan against the same stock and pays off the first debt. This cycle continues, and Musk lives the life we can all only dream of. 3. The rich love real estate. While regular people can't think of paying off one house mortgage, the rich borrow to buy multiple houses across the world. And the surprising part is that they don't live in those houses themselves. Another surprising fact is that despite having billions in net worth, they borrow money to buy properties worth just millions of dollars. Even Elon Musk borrowed $61 million to buy 5 houses in California in 2018, even when he could very well afford to pay up front. But what is the average person missing out in this entire process? Regular people only borrow money when they need to buy something they can't afford. However, the rich borrow even when they can afford to pay cash up front. The biggest reason behind this is that debt equals no taxes. So, let's understand the real estate game. Suppose you find a property worth $1 million. You borrow 80% from the bank and raise 20% from the investors. Suppose your debt repayment is $100,000 and property maintenance cost is $20,000. So, your total expenses are $120,000. Now, if you could rent the property for $140,000, you can pocket $20,000 without putting in any of your own money. And the best part about this income is that you will not have to pay any taxes on it. This is because you are allowed to change depreciation on your property each year. Depreciation is not an actual expense that causes cash outflow. It is an assumed property wear and tear cost that you are legally allowed to charge against your income. Even in our example, you can depreciate the building at an industry standard depreciation rate. The most common real estate depreciation rate is 1/39th, which amounts to a depreciation of 1 million divided by 39, $25,641 each year. As the depreciation is greater than your $20,000 income, you show a tax loss of minus $5,641, while still having $20,000 in your bank account to spend any way you want. 4. The rich don't mix things up. When Elon Musk decided to buy Twitter, he borrowed $13 billion, even when his net worth was close to $250 billion. This may seem counterintuitive to average people, because when you have $250 billion, you can surely shell out $13 billion. However, a lot of thought went into borrowing money for this deal. Such deals are known as leveraged buyouts, or LBO. In an LBO, the borrowed money is secured against the assets of the company being acquired, which, in this case, was Twitter. So, lenders lend money in the expectation that the acquired company will be profitable. Its future cash inflows will pay off the debt. Musk acquired Twitter not just because he saw it as another profitable business. He considers it as his way of bringing social change and securing free speech. But this also means that Musk has his doubts regarding Twitter's profitability. Therefore, LBO makes even greater sense. If Twitter makes money, Elon will enjoy a large chunk of it. However, if Twitter fails, Elon's risk is limited to the equity he owns in it. The lenders can't ask Elon to personally pay off the debt. They can only recover the loan by selling Twitter's assets. Only time will tell whether these assets will be sufficient to pay off the whole debt or not. However, by borrowing money, Elon ensured that his personal assets were secure and all his businesses maintained their separate legal entity. Lenders can't ask him to sell off his $94 billion worth of Tesla shares if Twitter fails, and he can still continue to live his luxurious life. 5. The rich generate liquidity. The rich love to acquire assets and hold them for eternity. They love passing on these assets to their children. They know the value of these assets is bound to rise, so they prefer safeguarding their family over being debt-free. However, this doesn't mean that they would let go of any multi-billion-dollar investment opportunity that comes their way. While their own money remains invested in illiquid assets, they create liquidity through debt and grab lucrative business opportunities. In April 2023, Mukesh Ambani, the chairman of Reliance Industries, borrowed the biggest loan in Indian corporate history. Mr. Ambani borrowed $5.5 billion for a nationwide 5G rollout in India. But $5.5 billion is not even close to 7% of his total net worth of $82 billion. Mr. Ambani's 27-story home in Antilla is worth $2 billion and he owns properties all over the world. Combining just a few such properties, he could have easily paid for the 5G rollout without borrowing. However, he borrowed because he wanted to leave his assets to his 3 children, Akash, Anant, and Esha. With the potential to power 2% of India's GDP by 2030, 5G implementation can result in the economic growth of $180 billion. And no one knows this better than the telecom giant Mr. Ambani. Therefore, giving up on such an opportunity because of a lack of liquidity is not the kind of decision-making you can expect from him. He would rather borrow money now and pay from 5G profits in the future than sit and see other telecom companies eat into his market share. 6. The rich inflate out their debt. Back in 2012, when Mark Zuckerberg took out a house mortgage, he got it for an interest rate of just 1.05%. At the same time, the average mortgage interest rate was around 2.76%. If you are wondering why Zuckerberg got that discounted rate, you should know that he was worth $15.6 billion at the time, and bankers had no doubt that he will pay them back. Therefore, due to the low risk involved with lending to Zuckerberg, the bankers were able to minimize the interest rate for him. It is a well-known fact that the higher your net worth or credit score, the lower the interest rates for you. However, many people miss out to see what Zuckerberg truly accomplished from this deal. First, he moved into the house he loved immediately and will continue to live there till he pleases. Second, he invested his own money in much higher paying investments. That will leave him huge profits even after paying the interest on the debt. And third, he spread out paying off the house across the next 30 years, when the real value of these payments would not even be a fraction of its worth now because of rising inflation. So, by not blocking his capital up front, he grabbed high return opportunities, postponed expenses, and reduced his expense to a fraction in inflation-adjusted terms.